Consider this video your reminder that the 3DS and Wii U eShops will be closing on March 27th, 2023. Before that date, you can purchase any game available by adding funds to your account through a linked Nintendo Switch account. After that date, you should still be able to download updates and already purchased games, but you won't be able to purchase any additional games using your Nintendo account. If you own or are thinking of buying a 3DS, Wii U, or both, you should take some time to consider right now if there's anything left from the online stores that you may want in your digital collection. And, I mean really consider. After the online stores shut down, various digital-only games will cease to exist outside accounts that already own them and pirated copies. Plus, judging from the state of the secondary market for older consoles, this might be one of the last opportunities you'll have to legally acquire some games for a decent price. Already, physical copies of some 3DS and Wii U games, like Kid Icarus Uprising and Maiden of Blackwater, are selling for well over their original asking prices and are bound to get even more expensive as their digital editions disappear. That's not even to mention the various virtual console games between the two systems that both haven't been ported to the Switch and are a bit tricky to otherwise find a physical copy of or play legally on modern displays. And, I get that it's probably super intimidating to look at both consoles' libraries of games and try to determine what's actually worth prioritizing before they're basically gone forever. After all, there are an incredible amount of games available, many of which I probably haven't even heard of. Now, for our part, I want to point out some games that I've really enjoyed and are likely to jump in price the moment their digital editions disappear. First up is basically all Pokemon games. Between the 3DS and Wii U, 44 new Pokemon games were released, including 28 digital-only games placed on the shop and the re-releases of various Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and DS games via Virtual Console. Which, side note, if you haven't actually bought anything from the Wii U Virtual Console, this is a good time to remind you that DS games actually work the same way as with an OG DS, just much bigger and with a wireless connection between displays. Anyway, that's a lot of Pokemon games, and as someone attempting to collect them all, it's an expensive collection in its own right. The trouble is that these games hold their value extremely well, with loose physical copies still selling for $20 to $40 on a good day. Even though each game actually sold an outrageous number of copies when they were brand spanking new. Unfortunately, those current prices are also likely held down a bit by the fact that anyone could buy any of the games for MSRP or lower through the eShop. Not gonna lie, paying anywhere near full price for games that are up to 10 years old always stings quite a bit. But if the current prices of the DS Pokemon games are anything to go by, there's a real chance that legally playing many of these games will gradually become more expensive over time, especially as folks nostalgic for these games age into the population that can actually afford to buy physical games on their own. If you've been curious about any of these Pokemon games, now might be a good time to pick up a copy for yourself. And if you've no clue where to start, I might suggest Pokemon Ultra Moon, a really neat story about the threat of invasive species and the meaning of family. Or maybe Alpha Sapphire, which examines the conflict between society and the natural world while digging much deeper into the overall multiple timeline narrative between Pokemon games. You really can't go wrong, just pick one up and start playing for yourself. Now, if Pokemon isn't for you, how about some Legend of Zelda? The 3DS and Wii U era was a time of really great remakes of older Zelda games. Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD are two of the best games available right now on the Wii U. They take already great games and add better graphics, quality of life features, and I would honestly recommend Wind Waker in particular, considering just how much better the game feels to play over the GameCube version. Sailing is faster, inventories and maps are easier to access, and everything just feels a ton smoother. Plus, if I want to play on original hardware, I don't need to lean on my crappy upscaler to connect a GameCube to my TV. On the 3DS side, Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D also get a shout out for being really solid ports. Once more, the graphics look a little nicer, inventory gets out of the way, motion controls are implemented logically, and oh yeah, there's 3D. Just look at how cool that intro looks in 3D. Okay, I guess you really can't see it, but trust me when I say it adds a little bit extra something that you might not get playing the versions in the Switch Online Expansion Pack. And, oh, of course, let's not forget the original Zelda games that came out during that period. Hyrule Warriors is good, almost mindless fun, and A Link Between Worlds is the critically acclaimed sequel to A Link to the Past that's been sitting in my backlog for a whole year. Both games are well worth any collection, and must-haves if you're looking to own the best the Wii U and 3DS can offer. Oh, and there's also Breath of the Wild, but honestly, unless you're using it for emulation purposes, there's no reason to buy the Wii U version over the Switch version. Okay, next up is Xenoblade Chronicles, specifically X and 3D. If someone were to ask me my 3 favorite Wii U games, I'd tell them Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World. Because they should just assume Xenoblade Chronicles X is at the top of my list. X is an expansive open world game that's easy to sink 70 plus hours into without actually completing the game. The sheer size of the map is unmatched by any other Wii U game, and it comes with a core mechanic that shifts perspective and scale throughout the game so that you start at level 1, running under the legs of massive giants, and end up at level 80, meeting them eye to eye in a battle-ready mech. Kinda like with Skyrim, I've sunk many hours into this game just roaming the environments, avoiding the main story, and just seeing what's available. Even at close to 100 hours in, I'm still reading of places I haven't been yet. The actual story is also fairly charming, but not super impactful. You're part of a space colony that's crash-landed on an unknown planet, and while the colony is rebuilt, you're helping to collect resources and knowledge for the colony while defending it against an unknown agenda of the group that actually caused y'all to crash in the first place. There's a lot of MMORPG style goodness packed into the typical quirks of a Xenoblade Chronicles game, and I'd recommend it to anyone with a Wii U who's even vaguely interested in how that sounds. Especially since it's one of the few Wii U games still not to be ported to the Switch or other consoles. The 3DS also got a Xenoblade Chronicles game during this period. 3D is a refined port of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 with full 3D features and processing requirements that only allow it to run on new 3DS systems. I'd say it might be worthwhile to consider picking up just for the quirk of a Wii port running in 3D on a handheld, but only certain versions of that handheld. You know, honestly, since the release of the definitive edition for Switch, it's definitely not the best or even most convenient way to play the first game. I'm kind of just mentioning it here because it seems like the type of game that's just unique enough to eventually become rare and skyrocket in price. So if it seems interesting, now might be the time to consider it. I could honestly go on and on about even more games, like how Nintendo Land should not be overlooked. The Wonderful 101 plays a lot differently on the Wii U than on modern ports. Super Mario 3D Land feels different when not played in 3D, and the 3DS is probably the easiest way to play Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. There are so many games for 3DS and Wii U that are bound to become harder to play after the eShop closes, so it's definitely worth looking back at both libraries and seeing if there's anything you missed until now. Additionally, download any free downloads. Just do that right now. They're free. You never know when you might want them later, and it's better to have them than to not. And you know, while you're doing that, also drop down to the comments and let us and everyone else know what games we should consider picking up. Also, feel free to mention any other channels which might have some good tips. We think Good Vibes Gaming, in particular, did a fantastic job highlighting the sheer mass of fantastic games that are about to disappear. We'll have a link to their videos in the description, and definitely go check them out. Also, give this video a like if you found it helpful or informative. We'll have even more videos on 3DS and Wii U games as we near eShop closure. Just make sure to get subscribed so you don't miss out. Now, until next time, catch you later.